Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another one of our high-quality Microsoft VATSIM experiences. Well, not really. This is just a regular little live stream. What we have today is pretty exciting times. This is real-world weather. We're on, like I said, the VATSIM network today. For those of you who would like to join in on us, what I'll do is I'll pull up the flight plan that I've filed for this one. We are in the middle of Washington State. It is the winter. Like I said, this is the day after Christmas. It is Boxing Day for those of you who apparently have traditions, because, in the United States, we don't have any traditions. But for those of you likely to join us, we're in the East USA server. You want to enable all players. And like I said, let me go ahead and call up the other half of that stuff for folks who'd like to join in on that as well. So go ahead and pop up my little desktop display here so you can kind of see what's going on. Got my little vPilot. First things first, you're going to double check to make sure they are on 122.8. That is the Unicom frequency for all of VATSIM. Even though the conditions are less than VFR conditions, we're going to make the best of it because too bad. The other thing we're going to do, of course, is we're going to go ahead and double check to make sure we're on mode C. And then for the flight plan, I kept it super duper simple. I just went ahead and did 21 Whiskey, which is our taking off point, and we're going to end up at Kilo Charlie Zulu Kilo. And I just set a departure time of 1600, which is pretty fun there. So this could be kind of an interesting flight, like I said. So I tried this one out a little while ago just to make sure everything is going to go pretty well for us, and it really should. The only thing I'd be a little nervous about is the fact that the mountains here are way taller than they look. So we're going to have to do a couple little things just to kind of make sure everything's good to go. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and climb into this sucker. It looks pretty good. One of the interesting things here is I'm actually cheating just a teeny tiny bit today. I do have myself my external EFB to help me out get navigating here, which means I get to do some landmarks along the way. But I have been to this region of the United States. It's actually super fun. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get myself rearranged here. So I'm going to go ahead and flip myself around here. Normally what I would do, of course, is I go grab the good old-fashioned ground handling and turn myself into a big old donut. I really should have brought myself some skis today because it looks unbelievably nasty. You try to take off in snow with an airplane like this, and you just basically snowplow it the whole way, and we get pretty nasty. Ground handling. All right, there we go. Cool. So next thing you know, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and actually lock up my brakes. And I have to actually, because we're at such a high altitude, I'm actually going to tweak my mixture before I even get airborne today, which seems a little naughty, but it actually works really, really well for flights that are going to be hitting altitudes like this. So I'm going to go up to 50% power. I'm going to grab my little mixture control knob, and I'm just going to start pulling this sucker back. What's going to happen is you're going to see your EGT come up. I'll zoom out a little bit so you folks can see. You can see my mixture control knobs go back one click at a time. Once this gets to its peak, you push it in a teeny tiny bit. There it goes. Give it just a little bit, and now you can see too much. All right, perfect. Now we are ready to go. The airport, Klaus Smell, is actually going to be 21 Whiskey. This is Washington State, north part of the Rockies, and as you can see, it is winter up here, and it's super duper exciting. Okay, so I'm taking a look at my takeoff time. My takeoff time is 2 minutes away, so I've got just a little bit of time to kind of make sure everything else is organized. So I'm going to take a moment down here. Like this, I do want synthetic vision for this flight today. For those of you curious about weather and stuff like that, we got live weather, we got live time going on as well, because it's just absolutely beautiful this time of year. For those of you curious about what server that we're on today, we're here on the East USA server, and like I said, we are plugged into VATSIM. Like I said, there's no controllers around, so we could basically ignore all that. It's just kind of nice to have. For those of you who like to have a little bit of fun with this, I'll go ahead and grab this real quickly and pull this down so y'all can take a look here. You can see we have already made a conglomeration of little airplanes. There's two of us. So, of course, you can see and follow our flights. You just go ahead and click on it like this, and it gives you a little detail things so you can actually kind of see exactly what's going on with the flight here. And the neat thing is, if anybody else chooses to join us in on this, you'll see little green planes all kind of pop up and start appearing side by side. Again, there's no fear here today. You can see the only controller is directly to the north of us, so we can basically get away with doing nothing and just pretending, just getting the half experience at least. So I'm looking at the time. Looks like it's 10:59. It's time to get going. Okay. So what we're going to do here is, as always, we're going to go ahead and call what runway that we're going to be taxiing over to here. So at 21 Whiskey, again, we're way deep in the mountains. Normally, you wouldn't be flying here. We're going to be taking off runway 15. After taking off runway 15, I've spawned in as a 787. Oh, no! Well, that's going to be kind of fun to watch because I'm a little Cirrus 22 here. Oh, well. So we're going to be taking off runway 15. We're going to be following the river basically south, and then we're going to cut off to the not the south, it's southish, and we kind of break off to the east. You'll kind of see how we do it. So the time is good to go. I've checked everything. All my settings are good. I've got my transponder set on correctly. You want to make sure that's an altitude for those of you who are doing it. And one of the fun things is I get all visible traffic now, which is kind of cool. So we're just going to go ahead and call that taxi. I'm going to go ahead and confirm that nobody's in our way here. We've got somebody on the far side, but I think these folks are not on the server, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Like I said, I'll just go ahead and call it, and I'll make my way over to the runway here. Of course, in the real world, if anybody was blocking the lane, we would probably want to wait for them. So I'm just going to call that. 21 Whiskey traffic. Red 64 is taxiing to 15. And all we do is head on over. Again, the Unicom frequency is going to be 122.8 for those of you who like to be with us as well. I don't hear anybody else on it, so I'm not going to panic about that too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of sneakily kind of get around here. Don't mind the 787 kind of rickling around here like this. Let's see here. Southern Wicker. You're basically asking an interesting little question there. It really depends on a lot of things. One thing you have to do is make sure that you've activated all players as far as traffic goes. All right, I'm on the runway. I'm good to go. 21 Whiskey traffic. Red 64 is taking off runway 15, 21 Whiskey. And off we go. Now, let's see. Okay, anyway, to answer your question there, Southern WKR. So one of the things you have to do is you have to make sure all players are enabled, and you also have to make sure that the server that you're on is going to be the same server that your particular friend is going to be playing on. If for some reason you guys are on different servers, it won't enable you the ability to like see each other. The other thing you have to watch out for too is they have what they call basically server saturation, I guess is the term I'm going to use here. So when that occurs, basically there's no more room in the server to accommodate you and your friends seeing each other, so unfortunately you're not going to be able to see each other. 21 Whiskey traffic, Red 64 departing to the south. All right, off we go. Yes. So make sure you're on the same server too, because for us, I'm on the East USA server. If you're on a different server or you put it on automatic, it might assign you to the wrong server. That happens quite a bit. And now we're just going to kind of sneak down this incredible little mountain here. Interesting. You do have a traffic is enabled for you, Southern WKR. Like under the settings, if you hit escape, there's like a thing for traffic, and there'll be a thing where you can actually disable other airplanes. So you probably want to double check to make sure that traffic is or is not enabled. I'm not going to call it up right this second. What I do is I'm getting so many terrain warnings on my EFB right now. This is so funny. Just going terrain. Oh, it's so funny to watch these things. I'll probably have some videos in the next few weeks that will be kind of showing off how you can connect your little external tablet using free software that'll actually give you the ability to, like I said, kind of see your flight as you're flying if that's something that you're looking to do here. All right, we are on our way. Oop, another terrain. Then I'm not sure, Southern WKR. I'm sorry if I've said something that makes you feel that way. The one thing I will say is double check the Microsoft Simulator forums. Sometimes there's like some obscure thing about like proxies or something that like even Microsoft doesn't know anything about. But again, I really don't know. All right, just kind of make my way up this valley here. One mistake I made when I was practicing for this one is I accidentally did not get myself enough altitude and tried to kind of choo-choo across everything and ended up basically running out of energy and panicking. So I'm going to continue my little climb here. I'm climbing at 146, which is more than enough. Let's see here. 152, 161. I'm going to lean out the mixture a tiny bit there. See, I'm just playing with it just a little bit. It's the nice thing about having the button directly on there. Yeah, about 145 is what we're going to get up to. Yeah, I wish I knew, Southern. It's have you tried using VATSIM? Like, does traffic injectors work for you? All right, so for those of you following along so far, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be popping over this little mountain range right here. So I'm going to give myself just a little bit more climb. This is actually called the Chinook Pass, for those of you who are curious. And that giant piece of mountain you're looking at right there is Mount Rainier. It's top, I think it's something like 14,400 feet, 14,500 feet. It is unbelievably tall. I've been there in the real world. And it's actually really interesting because when we did go up there, I went up there with my wife, it really surprised me how altitude sickness can creep up on you. It's one of those things where it starts as a headache that you just can't get rid of, and the next thing you know, you're just like, not miserable, but just, not quite yourself is the best way to describe it. All right, we're going to kind of sneak our way through this cloud, this little zone here. Like I said, this is the Chinook Pass. And because we are flying under visual flight rules, we are not allowed to touch clouds, so we have to stay at least 1,000 feet away from them. We have to, of course, stay 500 above and 1,000 above as well. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of thread this little needle that I see right off my nose here. This is not an autopilot flight, that is for sure. a local mountain right here. Should be something like 7,600 feet. It's right off our right there. Yeah. Incredible. I'll take a look behind us and say hello to everyone in a second. I just want to kind of clear this part of the mountain range. Like I said, since we are technically multiplayer, we have to follow the rules, which means no flying through clouds. For some reason, I can't transmit and receive. What button did you bind that to? Hang on, I'll call that up. Let me trim this plane out the best I can here. I have a different joystick setup today. Go ahead and nose down just a tiny bit. Oh my gosh, different joystick. No problems. Let me see here. Let me see if I can do this safely so I don't give away anything I'm not supposed to give away here. Let's see, you definitely said connected. Let me see right here to see what's going on with that. I'll share my screen real quickly so you can see it. Let's see, for audio, make sure the device is selected. Output device, make sure the device is selected. I just tweak these all the time. And if this isn't moving, that means something else is not working. Actually, if anything, my mic volume's too low, but that's okay. And the other thing is then a push to talk. Double check to make sure that button actually works. Sometimes clearing it, then resetting it works really, really well for that. All right. We are on our way. All right. So as I was just saying just a few minutes ago, I did have a slightly different setup now. One of the cool little things that I got for the 25th there is a thing that connects my joystick to my table, and it also has a little extension. It's like 4 inches tall. So this is a brand new experience for me, and I'm still trying to get used to it. It's weird, because now the joystick moves as far as the stick does like on a real airplane, which makes everything less sensitive, I guess I want to call it. So it's like relearning a lot of flying all over again. But I think it's one of the coolest things for those of you who have not checked those out. They're called extensions. Like I said, I'm still learning. Wait and you see how crappy my landing's going to be later on. All right, I'm going to go flip on the automatic pilot for just a second here because I would like to take a look at the folks behind me. I think I have just enough room right now that I should be able to kind of cruise along here. I'll put navigation hold on. All right, let's see how we did. All right, let's take a look. All right, so welcome back, Reaper MD. I think you are going to need your punch card reset here. Fasthead, welcome back. Let's see, Smiley Bo, welcome back. Simon, welcome back. I know Simon's trying to get us in a VATSIM, but he's having some tricky-trick. Supreme Force, that's probably not one of ours. Definitely not. Oh, these guys are having fun. Let's see what else we have here. Take a look. Drop of Vino. Oh, Drop of Vino. Welcome back. Drop of Wine. Let's see here. Compesto 10. I do not recognize you right away, but welcome. If you've done a name change or I just don't recognize you, that's my own memory's terrible fault here. And I have seen this one before, and I could not pronounce it last time. I'm not going to try to pronounce it again this time. But again, welcome back, everyone. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take advantage of the fact that we've got some incredible conditions here. Oh, wait a minute. We're getting a message here. Hang on. Let's look at ProFax. At least the snow is right. I got about half an inch overnight just north of Salem, Oregon. Awesome. So I've been to Oregon, mount my HOTUS to my rating share. I was Southern WKR. You definitely can do that, believe it or not. Like I said, I got a Monster Tech mount, and one of the things that... Wow! Whoa! I am super impressed. Somebody's coming the other way. One of the things I was saying is I have a Monster Tech mount, and they do make it where you could literally connect it to your chair. And I just thought that was wild. I just happen to have the world's most industrial desk from like 1975, so it kind of holds everything together for me. That is so cool. I am so super impressed. I did not realize we were going to see somebody passing the other way, unless they're trying to join us today, that is, which is a little different. Yeah, the snow is absolutely gorgeous. We got snow here on Friday, which was a bit of a surprise, except at about 5:30 in the morning, all of a sudden you can hear the snow plows go by. For those of you who don't have the pleasure of dealing with snow all the time, it's quite an experience here. Like that when you're, trying to get the last couple minutes of sleep, because, it's been a crazy couple of days. Right. Now we're just going to come swing down this valley. It's going to be nice and relaxing. Let's see. Our snow here sucks. Yeah, Rick understands. Like I always said, one of the nice things is, yeah, you know what I mean. I'm okay with snow. Snow is the one yard work that I can tolerate. Like, raking leaves is my absolute 100% least favorite in the universe. Like, mowing the lawn is kind of irritating, but, like, there's technology involved with mowing the lawn. You can make fun of it. But, like, raking leaves, I don't know what it is. It's just, like, torture. It's the people who, like, the Buddhist monks who sit there and rake the sand, very meditatively. It doesn't feel like that at all to me. And again, everybody's a little different in that regard. All right, so we got a problem. Looking off my nose here, there's a really, really, really big cloud here, and we can't technically go through, but what I do see is I see a little eye in the cloud right here, and I see a little eye in the cloud here. So now so the real world, of course, I'd be doing, whoa, trying to run down this valley and try to find another way out of here. Unfortunately, I do not have, I'd have real world weather radar, and I'm looking at the weather radar, and it's basically way worse in the real world than it is here. But that doesn't help me because we're in the sim, and it's right there. And I think you know what I mean. But it looks like I think I can sneak out this way right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go pop the heading button, swing it a little to the right a little bit. I'll go ahead and take over manual control again. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of weed our way through this little gap right here. Fingers crossed. Let's see. Rick is saying, at least my Tesla roof and 2x power walls. Oh, that's excellent. Electrical. Yeah, that's one of the other things that everybody forgets to tell you about flying in the snow and in this part of the world, in this kind of country. One of the problems you're going to have is losing your power. It happens way more than it should. I can't say how many times I've sat downstairs or slept downstairs on the floor, nailing up a bunch of blankets to the walls of all the entrances and exits and trying to use our little gas fireplace to desperately keep us warm. And then there's the logistical problems, like, oh, I really wish I had put gas in the car last night because now I don't have any. So it's such a nightmare, such a nightmare. And of course, I can't sit here and play flight sim. So at some point, I'm not trying to predict the future or something. When we do have to cancel our first flight that we've never canceled so far, knock on wood, it's going to be because of inclement weather. Or it's going to be like a thunderstorm and you can't turn this thing on. And then, of course, at least internet's usually pretty stable in our area. Knock on wood is also. And we're just going to kind of swing this way. I'm hoping we can get behind this cloud right here. And I'm hoping there's going to be a gap. Because, like I said, we can't technically fly through any of those clouds. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, boy. I don't know if this is going to work. At the very least, we can't legally get through those clouds. Because remember, we have to stay at least about 1,000 feet away-ish. There we go. Right there. See it? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's it. That's it, folks. That's going to be our gap. And you know what's going to happen is we're going to fly right through that gap, and unfortunately, it's basically going to envelop us, and then we're going to get trapped, and then we're going to smack into the ground. It's all going to be so embarrassing. But like I said, we're still technically legal. We haven't broken any rules yet, so I like this little cloud right here. Flying in the real world, by the way, you get this kind of thing all the time when you're just chilling along, and all of a sudden, just like, there's one cloud in the entire of where I live in New England, and it's like, okay, that's fine, that's fine. Let's see, Rick was saying, in February, I lost power for 5 days and internet for 15. If that happens, there's going to be much, much fewer videos, but I'll do the best I can to use them. Oh, look at that. Yes! We're going to get through. If that occurs, I will send some kind of message. I'll basically say, sorry, folks, we're going to be out of commission for a couple weeks. Speaking about being in commission, out of commission, I'm super excited to say we are now at 19.6 thousand subscribers, which I can't, from the bottom of my heart, that is the most incredible, I still cannot believe sort of a situation that I'm in right now. Like I was saying before, if we do magically hit the 20,000, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I'll have to find something special. But you folks have done a wonderful job, and I really appreciate all the patronage, and I hope to keep doing this for a while. The good news is, in case you haven't watched the news, is we're going to be getting a PMTG airliner pretty soon. Oh, did I call this gap, or did I call this gap? This is awesome. So PMTG airliner, of course, means the 737, which, oh my gosh, what a fun plane. I love playing with an FSX. And I need to switch fuel tanks because the plane's starting to get heavy. All right. So that's going to be super exciting when that comes out. I literally cannot wait. I love that airplane back in FSX. And you have like the FS2 crew and like, oh my gosh, it was such an experience. I am much more of a GA guy, however, but every once in a while you have to get distracted by both the military as well as the commercial as well. Look at that. That gap was literally perfect. I'm on my list of my own. She McFlatface, Starling. Gotcha. I'm swinging this way. Look at that. That was literally perfectly planned. I did not practice with that cloud. It just so happened that it worked out that way, and I'm way too close to it. That's not legal. All right, so now we got through the easy part. Now we're going to make our way a little bit further south here and kind of make our way to what I consider to be the hard part. So this is really, really cool valley down here that I'm probably going to come singing down into. I'm going to stick my nose out just a little bit, just kind of go riding down here. All I have to say is if for some reason your airplane went down in weather like this, they're not going to get you. They can't send something through these clouds to come get you. So unfortunately, you'd be on the ground for quite a while there. And again, there is some civilization. Of course, I say that loosely. I should say houses and buildings. Yeah, right down there. So it wouldn't be too bad, but I don't think you'd want to hike this snowy environment. I'm already feeling my toes freezing and getting lost to frostbite thinking about it. This is just so pretty. I know usually when we fly in the mountains, it's always, green or like, desert or something. Today it is just like pure snow. I love it. Sorry to hear that, Simon. It's just so nice. I love this. I'm keeping it on manual today. Like I said, I got a new toy I got to kind of learn, so I got to stick to the old-fashioned way. It's just so wild. God, I'm like visualizing all these, all this wildlife just chilling right below us, just waiting to be looked at. So cool. They really did a nice job with this. Interesting thing is I had to turn on all the ice protection before I took off because I noticed ice was forming on the windshield because we're underneath the cloud at the beginning, but that's okay. Now, for those of you who are going to be making it all the way down to the end, you're going to be seriously surprised about how weird the runway is that we're actually going to hit. It's one of those things where I was doing some calculations because when I went out to Oregon back in 2017, no, it's not Oregon. I had to be corrected a few times on that one. When I went to Oregon back in 2017, I was so tickled by just the way that, like, you have Portland, where it's like city, 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 and you go 10 seconds into the woods, and this is what it looks like all of a sudden. It's just one of those things. Do you use anything like a Stream Deck for hotkeys? Southern, I've been thinking about that for a while. The Stream Deck's probably something I want to pick up. I'm really torn between two different things with my disposable income, so to speak. I was looking at getting a GoPro for the real plane, just so my video is a little more stable there. And I was also looking at getting a Stream Deck as well, because I can actually mount it right onto my HOTAS, is the way that it's set up. The nice thing with that, obviously, is you can customize the user for other things. But I also have a Thrustmaster T50 CM3, which has a bajillion buttons on it. And I also have Control Panel 2 Viverpal, which also has a bajillion buttons on it. So I almost don't need buttons, but it's nice for things like these. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stabilize myself a little bit here. And I'm getting a traffic at 6 o'clock warning. 2 nautical miles. It's a heading 193. Somebody's sneaking up on me. Let's go back over to the right here. Okay, here we go. Round 2. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Because I play other games, too, that your Stream Deck could probably be valuable for. And now I'm getting a red traffic warning. There must be somebody really sneaking up on me. Let me see here. Oh. Who knew? Like I said, I've got my EFB. I use iFly GPS for those of you curious. I actually plugged into this plate today so I can kind of follow along with like everything going on. It's kind of neat. All right, looks like we have round 2 of trouble. I'm looking off my nose here, and that is a cloud, and we're about to go flying right into it. Technically, it is broken up enough that I'm not going to lose sight with the ground. Technically. Hopefully. I guess we'll find out when we get a little bit closer here. Oh, man, this makes it so easy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Wait for it. Cool. Actually, Simon, just a quick reminder also, you can actually do all of your dialogue directly in the vPilot. In vPilot, there's like a little option where you can actually type things, and a lot of people who use that pretty much continuously. All right, somebody's getting real close because they're even showing up right here. Nice. But if the traffic is over, oh my gosh. Exactly. I believe we are back on course. Okay then. So next sound of problems, I'm going to go between these two clouds. First thing you want to do is identify the direction of the wind. The wind's coming from right to left, which means if I point straight, the cloud will pass to my left, theoretically. Of course, clouds can change side. Yeah, usually the VATSIM folks don't like formation flying. Probably get an angry email from them later, but it's okay. It's not technically formation flying. We're not interfering. This is uncontrolled airspace. Nice. All right, so far so good. Those little puffy things aren't going to do anything to us. I'm not going to worry about them too. Oh my gosh, look what's on the other side, though. Oh. Okay. Okay. We got to get around this. Well, that looks pretty safe in that direction. There's a gap right there, and there's a gap right there. I don't think we can get under it either. Okay, fine. Be that way. What I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to try to aim to the left of that gap, and I'm just going to try to go through that one. Hopefully everybody else is getting to experience these little cloud dodges here, because this is super fun. Like flying through rings in like a PlayStation flying game or something like that. What was it? Not Simple Wings. I can't remember the name of that game. It was for PlayStation 1, I want to say. Just Cool Wings? I don't know. Somebody's going to correct me on that one. It's been a few years. All right. I don't know how much I like that. Because if you take a look, there's a cloud between it, and then there's a cloud on the side of it. There's also this one on the right. Oh, wait a minute. Move my head. Oh, yeah, we can get under it. Creamies is asking, what's he flying today? We were flying the SR-22, which is this guy right here. This is one of the deluxe edition aircraft. The reason I really love this plane is because it's fixed landing gear, but it can also do 150, which is amazing. I just think that's amazing. No problem, man. No problem. Yeah. I have a little bit of experience in one of these in the real world. Somebody set me up like this little demo flight in this thing. And this little controller, this little stick that comes out of the side, I'm giving a real workout right now, is it's so strange. And also the way you do your trim, let me see if I can look at it. It's really, really weird. Like if you take a look, there's a little bar on the back that actually shows you what your current trim position is. It's just weird. It's just weird. Yeah. Thanks, Kramers. Like I said, this what cracks me up though is like if you look at the back seat. Oh, yeah, you could fit a couple people in this plane. No, but it's wishful thinking. You think you can get in your room. And it looks like that opening was also a perfect opening for us. So we are just getting so lucky to be able to fly around these clouds without actually needing to be on IMC or IFR rules here. We got lucky. We got lucky. All right, go straighten myself back out. I'll go ahead and visit with everybody behind me in just a second here. Just kind of work out where we need to go from here. I think we're gonna have to swing this way. There we go, perfect. That looks good right there. The other thing about the CRS-22, which really blew my mind, was how high up you are. Like, you're looking at this going, oh, it's not that high off the ground. Yeah, try driving a Piper and then getting into one of these things. It'll really, really, really surprise you. I'm just going to flip this on for a second. It's taking long. Creamy, I'm guessing it's Creamers. The big thing with Creamers is the fact that it's a totally new SDK. So people are kind of learning their way through it. And at the same time as it's, you spent, let's say, the last 15 years developing aircraft for Flight Simulator 10. You built up a huge collection, a huge library, all done in a certain way with a certain set of physics, with a certain development cycle. And now you're giving them an entirely different development cycle, different team, different standards for graphics, totally different physics engine, totally different world engine with different weather properties, an autopilot system, which I've made my comments on that. This is my head. I'm not saying anything out loud. Anyway, so all that has to be done and taken into account. So that's going to take forever, especially if you're going to do something that's got some really fancy avionics, like the 737 or something like that. I remember one of the reasons that the PMDG did not release that this year is on account of the fact that I was reading that they're basically running into issues where they couldn't do something the way they needed to do, and Microsoft's like, oh, we're going to fix it in the next edition. So it's like, we'll wait. All right, let's see what else we have here. See if we picked anybody up. Grumpy Loop, 1776. Welcome back also. I missed you before. Let's see. Pesto, Smiley Bow. They're all doing F-18 stuff. Oxygen free. What a great plane for this. The 208, that would have been perfect. And Digested Curve. I don't know how you can be that low. And Uber Tycar. Oh, yeah, this would have been a fun plane for this flight, too. So anyway, it's like the back seats in a Porsche. Yes, they're there, but they're not for anybody. So it's actually funny you say that because in the real world, with most airplanes that are four-seaters, you can't really fit anybody in the back anyway. Even when you do put people back here, oh, look at this, an oxygen tank. It basically would mean you're in a situation where you can't carry full fuel. Matter of fact, if we just pulled this up real quick here, I'm already burnt up a bunch of my fuel, but I switched this to pounds. So what do we got? 400 pounds of fuel. 400 out of 400 would be 3,000. My minimum is 22, so that's 8. So I can fit 4 200-pound people in this plane decently. But anything heavier than that, or if you want to include luggage, that's game. But it's a common problem. Adam says he flew in a Cirrus once and did get a third person in the back seat. He did not look comfortable. No, I mean I love this plane. At the moment, Airsoft has the CRJ series, good plane. I've been eyeballing the CRJ series a lot recently. One of the things that's kept me out of it is it's just a little expensive. And like I said, I've only got so many Flight Sim bucks. And I'm getting, there's still traffic on my 6, but that's okay. But unfortunately, that kind of ate into my Flight Sim bucks again. So I wasn't able to kind of go out with it as like I wanted to. At some point, I'll probably scoop it up. But at this point, not so much. Oh man, this is crazy. So, nope, I thought that was a forest fire for a second. I'm like, that makes no sense. Man, I love this. It's so pretty out here. Of course, we can do the little thing. So I got the window here. Did I forget to put the flaps up? No, I'm good. Nice. Cool. All right, so we're going to continue along here, and we're going to be on the ground, call it 10 minutes. So for those of you, I'm 210, I guess it's to the left. Let's see, 210. That's funny. So, that's funny. So, one of the things we're gonna have to do is this airport is going to be a little bit different. Love to hear it, Sterling Archer. You're always welcome to fly with us as well. Like I said, we've been doing this. It'll be 2 years in September streams, and we've done this every 2 weeks. I have a great idea for next time, by the way. So we're going to be using the Velocity. So if you have not had some time to get the hang of the Velocity, we're going to raid a major European city. I'm not sure which one I want to pick yet. I've got a couple ideas. Like I'm leaning towards Germany because I feel like we haven't flown there very much. But I think that would just be super duper fun, just like being like driving in traffic with like 30 helicopters. Like, that'd be so much fun. So I think that's what we're going to be doing next time for those of you who are curious. Like I said, Sterling, definitely welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Like I said, this has been pretty calm so far. We're going to have to land the plane pretty soon. We got an ETA of about 6 minutes 30. So for those of you who haven't flown here before, the runway, I wish I had a piece of paper I could just pull off my leg here and just show it to you. Basically, there's going to be a huge lake. Wait a minute. I have a map. Silly me. I don't know why I make these things difficult for me. Okay. So you're going to have this huge, huge frozen river right here. And what's going to happen is you're going to cross the frozen river, and on your right, there's going to be like a little town kind of swinging around the side. When you go along that town there, you want to make sure that you really bring yourself a little bit more south than you think you need to, because this runway is going to be at a really dumb angle because of the way that all the mountains are going to be kind of surrounding here right there. So I think you folks are really, really going to enjoy that. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to fly through that cloud. So what we want to do, of course, is we're still in VATSIM, believe it or not. So we're supposed to be making calls and things like that. We're 16 miles to go, so I'm just going to kind of set ourselves up here. I'm going to go take a look at the weather real fast. The wind is calm. Reading a little bit of EFB. More things, and windows, and all. Runway 24. Cascade Lock State traffic, red 64 is 15 to the north, setting up for a right downwind for runway 24, Cascade. Adam, we're heading into Cascade Lock State, which is just a little bit to the north here. Uh-oh, cloud. Whoop. We got this far, and now we finally violated the rules. We technically are going to lose contact with the ground, which is no good for VFR flying. Nope, maybe not. We got lucky. Of course, we're going to turn into a giant iceberg before we actually get through this thing, which is kind of a shame. All right, going to take my hands on the stick. I'm going to smoothly fly through this. You can already start to see where the lake is, or the lake, not the river. So like I said, the airport is really awkward. You're going to see it when you get there. Also, because it's going to be all snowed over, it's going to be like twice as awkward, and you'll see exactly what I mean. I haven't flown into Portland. I've flown in the real world into Portland, but I've never flown there. One of the coolest things, by the way, for those of you who ever get a chance to fly out this way, in Portland, there is a bookstore called Powell's. It's one of the largest used bookstores on planet Earth. It's literally like a city block, and it has a stupid number of books, like multiple floor after floor after floor of every obscure edition of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy you can possibly get your hands on. So it's just one of the neatest things if you're ever out that way. I think you folks will get such a kick out of that, like you get if you're a book collectors there. But the other neat thing that I was really fascinated with Portland, Oregon, was how in Portland they have basically pop-up food trucks. So there's this one spot downtown where it's just like an empty lot, and everybody in the food truck with absolutely every single nationality of food you can possibly imagine all comes rolling in there all at the same time, and basically just kind of peddles their wares, so to speak. But it's all incredibly delicious, and it's just interesting. Adam has just confirmed to us that bookstore is insane. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I'm definitely a bit of a reader. Like the wifey and I always say, it's like, okay, who's gonna read such and such? Nice, boring, dry things. I have no problem reading those. Technical documents, no problem reading those. But it's like that. Yeah, older books. We have a place to the north of us called Brattleboro. It's in Vermont. For those of you who ever head out this way, it's an old mill town. But it seems to be like where all the old books went to just kind of get stuck on a shelf somewhere. I mean, you can see things like first editions of books from like the 1800s in there, and they're like leather cases, and they're kept hermetically sealed in plastic bags in a desperate way to try to keep them basically protected for as long as possible. I don't know, I just love stuff like that. You can get the original copy of Stick and Rudder, for those of you who are not familiar with that book, which, by the way, is an amazing book. Stick and Rudder, yeah, pretty awesome. Okay, so now we got to land this plane. Like I was saying just a few minutes ago, let me go zoom in a little bit so you can see this. Oxygen Free is going to meet us there. He's got the Cessna 208 kind of just chilling at the runway. The big thing here is, like I said, you have to line yourself up where I'm facing my head right now. It's going to be kind of off here to the left a little bit. And then you're going to have to kind of choo-choo. And like I said, the runway is at just such a dumb angle. I'm not a fan of it at all. All right, a couple notches of a mixture here. We're just going to make our way down. All Right, so we're flying over. This is going to be their version of Route 84. Is going to be right off our nose. I have been here before. This is actually kind of neat because it's always wild to see what things look like from the air versus, when you're sitting in traffic. Just kind of one of those things. All right, I'm starting reducing speed. We're going to start coming down. I feel sorry for the people in the back seat. They're getting their ears blown out right now because I'm descending at, 2,000 feet per minute? That would just be misery. That was funny. A couple months ago, I was flying with somebody, and it was... We were at like 5,000 feet and we need to descend to 1,000. And I said, I'm going to do this as leisurely as possible. And I get like 150 feet per minute downward. So it took like 20 minutes to lose. It's not going to be the exact math, obviously. It took about 20 minutes to lose altitude, but it was just so leisurely and it did nothing to your ears. It was wonderful. All right, here we go. I'm going to go line myself up here. I got to come a little bit to the left. Like I said, we have somehow dodged all this traffic so far. So let me go ahead and make the call. We're 4 miles to the north. Cascade Locks traffic, Red 64 is 4 miles to the north, inbound into a right downwind 424 Cascade Locks. So we just made our call. We're good to go. Gotta come swing this way just a little bit. Aim down. Like I said, we really got to slow this thing down. If anything, I'm just going to slip the plane a little bit here. Try slipping in a Sierras. It is the most left-handed work you've ever done. And no, it's not that kind of left-handed work. It's this kind of left-handed work. All right, let's swing on downward. And like I said, we just need to slip the plane a little bit because we are way too fast. This isn't disorienting. It's even more disorienting of the plane for those who've ever flown in a plane that's being slipped. Oh, boy. I'm going to go ahead and bring a mixture of all the rest of the way. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Just nice to flight flights like this. This is just so nice. I almost did this in the Bonanza. I decided to take this plane instead because I wanted something just a little bit different. I'm getting a terrain warning. Who knew? Fast Ted and VRGO is zipping right ahead of me. Fast Ted's got the right idea. Like I said, we're going to come in so fast, so we're going to have to kind of lose all the... Pull up! My EFB is trying to threaten me with death here. It's pretty funny. Okay, here we go. Still slipping, believe it or not. Wait until you see how irritating this runway is. You'll know it when you see it. Gear down. Flaps down. All right, let's do it. Now keep in mind, I'm on a different control setup here, so my usual butter landings are going to be a little bit more bumpy. All right, flaps are going to be put all the way down. Now I'm going to go ahead and make the call. Cascade Locks traffic, Red 64 is on short final for runway 24 Cascade State. Cascade Locks.
Great.
Now, the runway is actually the left thing of snow, not the right thing of snow, so keep that in mind. Reaper, you took the right plane for this. That's more than slow enough. Gunfuls checks. I did not change gas tanks, but I'm pretty sure I have plenty there. Now remember, it's the left side of the snow, not the right side of the snow. Oh man, this is requiring a lot more coordination than I was ready for. Oh, you people. Oh, no, easy. Reaper, careful. Careful. We're here. Nice. Cascade Locks traffic, Red 64, back taxi 24, Red Cascade State. As far as back taxi goes, it's more like taxi through the grass, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Told you I should have brought skis. All right, folks, as always, if you'd like to join us for the photograph, I'm going to go head over to this little windsock and use this as my little victory spot here. Probably should have picked an aircraft that was a little bit more obvious here, but that's all right. Cascade Locks traffic, Red 64, clear the runway. All right, we're going to sneak over here. I'm going to park right next to the windsock because it just looks cool. Oh, that was a crosswind. Oh, maybe I should have been blaming Reaper for not so flying. All right, let me go ahead and let's see here. If you would like to join us in our usual photograph, come on by. I guess that'll be facing roughly in this direction. It's just kind of neat. That wasn't bad. We did fine. I think the big thing, Southern WKR, is if you go back and watch, we had to cut through quite a few clouds there, and that was kind of dangerous. Again, the one thing I had is the advantage of knowing where the runway was this time. When I tried this before, I didn't know there was a runway here. I thought it was just grass, and that was a little bit more rough. So that was dicey. I still claim something like that. I love the little sock there. It's so pretty. Press that one right there. Yeah, I know. Seriously. This is a super fun flight, folks. As always, I like to do a quick little QA at the end. Does anybody have any questions or things you folks would like to see? Oh, no! You need landing gear for that to work normally. Reaper MD, I think you're over there in the woods. That's pretty nice. Does anybody have any suggestions for future live streams? Particular videos you'd like me to concentrate on? Like I said, at some point I'll go scoop up the CRJ and I'll play with that a little bit. Wow, you actually took a C-22 on this flight. I'm so impressed, Grumpy Luke. I don't know that I want to land a C-22 on that snow. I need something a little bit more Russian, I think. All right, take that picture. All right, I'm not seeing any comments, so I'm going to go ahead and bouncy bounce. But let me go ahead and disconnect from VATSIM first. Success. And now I'll go ahead and do this. We're going to go make a mess here. I love the fact that Microsoft just steals whatever traffic you have and, you know, parks it here, because that makes perfect sense. Go! Oh, yeah, this is safe. I'm off of VATSIM now, so now I can goof off. Ready for the hop takeoff. Hop takeoff. Hop takeoff. Whee! Hop takeoff. Got to drop the flaps at the last second for hop takeoffs. All right, let's go swimming here, because I don't see any comments from the peanut gallery, which is fine. Right. Apparently this is a lake or something, so I wonder if you can land on it. Let's see what happens. This won't be bad. I'm on Xbox. Kids limit the whole setup. Would I be able to join next? Sterling, you can join. It doesn't matter what system you're on. One of the nice things is they were cool enough as long as you join the same server. Oh my gosh, I don't know where the ground is. So if this is solid, which I don't think that it is, I have no idea where it actually is, so I'm just going to smack into it really hard in about 2 seconds. Yeah, I'd love to do something with the CRJ. Like I said, it's just expensive. If I'm going to do that kind of money, I know PM... Oh, I died! So, that was a lot more solid than I expected it to be. I was kind of hoping that would be a little softer. All right, folks, have a wonderful day, and a Happy New Year, and happy holidays for everybody who just celebrated yesterday. Happy Boxing Day for the folks that are going to have to look up what Boxing Day is. We'll have some pretty good stuff coming out for you next week. I think our next live stream will be 2 weeks away. We're going to pick some city in Europe, and we're going to crash it with, hopefully not crash it, but take a bunch of helicopters at stupidly dangerous altitudes and create a bunch of traffic over the city. So that should be super fun. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and we'll see you in a while. Enjoy.